How many of you have driven a Maruti 800? I know, it's a small car with low engine capacity and got a toy car look with no airbags and zero safety. However, I knew none of these back in 2011 when I took a rather daring decision. I was a proud user of a company maintained cherry red Maruti 800. My mum, sisters, and I wanted to go to the luscious scenic hills close to Babula during April vacation. My sister listed out the places she thought would be cool to visit. She said, Akka, we need to visit Dunghinda, Bambarakanda, Ravanala, and World's End. I'm sure the girl just spat out all the waterfalls she learned from her geography book. I replied, Yes, mate, all cool with Dunghinda, Bambarakanda, and Ravanala, but I hear it's tricky to drive to World's End. The roads are pretty narrow, you know. I kid you not, my sister knows how to stroke my ego. She goes, But Akka, you're a fantastic driver. Since it's a small car, I'm sure you can. So, we decided to set off in this toy beast of mine. Reaching the guest house we've booked in Badulla was a piece of cake for me, except for the bit of fog that made driving challenging in the Haputale area. Once we reached the guest house, Mom quickly reminded us the agenda for the next 2 days. All right, you three, let's just rest for the day and go for a walk in the area towards the evening. We'll set off to Dunghinda tomorrow and World's End the day after. Dunghinda was fun, though the short trekking was a bit exhausting. It made sense why it was called Dunghinda after all. The water that hit the waterbed created a smoky atmosphere. Smoke in Sinhala is also called Dun. I realized how powerful and full of life water really is. The day ended with mandatory photo shoot, Berimal juice, and with a piece of jaggery and laughter. That night, we inquired the best route to take to the World's End from where we stayed. Google Map was still finding its ways in Sri Lanka, so we trusted directions given verbally over Google Maps. The owner of the guest house told me, Dua, take the broad road I told you and don't take the other road. The car might not be able to go up that steep road. Leave early from here if you want to capture the view. I nodded my head sleepily, already exhausted with the day's activities. We left the guest house at around 6 a.m. in the morning. We were told it's a 2.5 hour drive up to the gate of Horton Plains. After all those verbal directions given by the owner and the random strangers on the road, I successfully managed to get on to the forbidden, narrower, steep path that would take me to the World's End. I decided to continue the path since we were running late already. The first hour of the drive was fun until I passed a highland factory that led to a narrower road with dense woods on either side. It then led to a steep and rocky path that was no wider than 12 to 13 feet, and before I knew it, we were driving up a mountain, taking those dangerous bends and curves. I suddenly felt so grateful towards all those driving instructors and friends who taught me clutch balance. I know I would have surely taken my family to death's doorstep if not for them. While I was trying to analyze my surrounding and make sure we reach a plateau somehow, I sensed my cherry red beast slowing down that steep path we were on. I hear my sisters having a conversation behind. Michelle says, Oh wow, this is breathtaking. Akka, can you slow down a bit more for me to take a picture of the mist setting in? And the youngest one says to the other, Mishi Akka, can we take a selfie with that in the background? Well, they were still schooling and didn't seem to realize the situation we were getting into. My mom, sensing something wasn't right, asked, Baba, is everything okay? To which I replied, Ma, I think you, Mick and Rome might have to get off the car and walk up this steep road. With that, I pulled out the handbrake. The idea worked, and finally I managed to drive up to an even ground while my sisters did their photo shoot. After all that challenge, we reached the entrance of Horton Plains, only to find out it was way past the time they allowed the visitors to go. Pretty frustrated, we got back into the car to drive back. This time, we were showed the easier path. The plan was to hit the Highland factory to refresh ourselves with a cup of milk. The drive back was much smoother, and I was thanking the higher power for keeping us safe. We were again on the road covered by woods on either side. Suddenly, I hear a van honking at us. I thought they wanted to overtake and allowed them, to only find out there was a similar van behind. It took us some time to realize that these two vans were filled with bare-bodied drunkards, hooting at us. They realized it was the lady driver, and now my cherry red beast was caught between two vans. I could hear my mom and sisters silently praying in the background. We sensed an eerie feeling. I had to keep repeating this to myself. Keep driving, do not stop. Keep driving, do not stop. We were approaching a bend and I was panicking. I heard another van behind the one already following, honking louder. The man in it looked like a thug for sure. My mind was racing, thinking of different things I could do. I thought all three vehicles surrounding us spelled trouble. But I was wrong. The guy right behind was honking to overtake. The moment he overtook, he realized that we girls were in trouble. I believe angels need not look angelic and can be rough and tough looking at times. He drove in a way, allowing me to overtake the van that was blocking us in front. Now I was right in front with this thug looking angel in his van blocking the drunkards from overtaking him. Before we knew, we were near the Highland factory and I took a sharp turn and hid my cherry red beast between other vehicles in the parking lot. The drunkards' vans continued on the road, but I couldn't spot the thug-looking angel thereafter. You know what? Miracles do happen, and I'm glad my cherry red Maruti and I experienced it.